Well, Bern, big fuck you. How about that?
Me?
Yeah, fuck you.
What?
Yeah, fuck you.
Myself? Maddie, why? I thought
You
we were
know why.
friends, Matt.
Never been,
I
never
thought
will
we were
be. You fucking twat waffle. Speaking of fucking twat waffles, this is a Working Perspectives podcast presents The Retorted Show. I'm Matt Lavelle. That's Liam Reese, our special guest today. And the other asshole, that's Bern Podcasy. But before we get to Bern being an asshole, we got a dick-shaking triple vent that we gotta do. We gotta do. Once again, I mean, it's every time they are the hottest team going into the playoffs. They fucking dick shake, double vent, dirt dog the first fucking series, and the bats get cold and they can't do shit. Just disappointing all around. Some strange calls at the end there too. Little league action. I don't know what we're doing. Is it a little big league? A little big league out there? Huh? You know? Is it Billy? Billy whatever his face was? Yeah. Not happy with it. Bern, give us your thoughts. Dick shaking, double vent, triple vent.
Oh, the first dick shaking triple vent. Yeah, I mean, we had to sit there and watch. First of all, we have to watch in the American League both top seeds advance, and in the National League the Brewers advance. So now we're left with Brewers, Dodgers, Toronto, and Seattle. I still have not forgiven the Blue Jays for
Nor will I
Never. I will
11
never.
years old, nor will I ever.
Never.
So they can rot in hell for all of eternity. So I guess I'm rooting for the Mariners to win the whole thing. Like
I don't know. Seattle's an iffy city, dude.
It's just, that's what I mean.
As much as I dislike the Brewers, you know, I feel like they kind of share our pain though. 7 consecutive. They've made it to the postseason 7 consecutive seasons in a row, which shows like just how hard it is to break through and everything. I wouldn't be that mad at the Phillies for not getting it just for that. Like you see other teams, like it's not easy. Other teams that make it, you know, like the Brewers are just the example I'm using, but other teams make it year after year after year after year and get shut down. But the way they lost is what makes it infuriating.
Oh, it's brutal.
Like you can't.
Brutal.
I don't know. You gotta hit. You gotta hit if you're gonna win.
You know what sucks?
And then
too,
if you're not gonna hit, you can't fuck up like that.
You can't do that. Yeah, like Maddie said, that was little league play. I feel bad for Kerkering. He's been a good for us. That's going to follow him around for a very, very long time. It's not quite Bill Buckner because the stakes weren't as high, but man, that's a play that I won't soon forget. And the real killer of all this is it's always hurts when a team that has prospects comes to the end of a season because you know it's not going to be the same team next year. We made a huge mistake not signing Kyle Schwarber before this season started. We got to have that guy back in the lineup. There's rumors that we're not going to be able to afford Harrison Bader. Real Muto's up. We have a handful of pitchers who are up. Zach Wheeler's future's unknown. It's just like
that's the other thing too. It's not like the starting pitchers weren't pitching fucking gems out there.
Without
Wheeler.
Know
what I mean?
Without Wheeler.
Yeah.
Ranger, I don't know if we're going to be able to afford to keep Ranger, who was great for us as a starter during the season, pitched great for us in relief in the playoffs. So the thing that always hurts is you have a window, right? There's a certain window. And with every passing year, that window gets a little closer to shut. And I'm just hoping they make a couple of moves, keep a couple of these guys, and try to extend this window for a little longer. Because we got Trey Turner and Bryce Harper till we're like in our 50s. You know, they're not going anywhere.
Nice.
Which
is sooner than you think.
Yeah, I know. You're telling me. And
it would be nice if they hit in the postseason.
It would be great if they hit in the postseason. One game. Well, that's not true.
It's frustrating. They're, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, enough of that because that's been dead and buried. So let's move on. Move Ricky Vaughn. Liam, I'm going to vent one of my things. You know, you can go out on your shield, and I'm okay with it, right? If you battle, because sometimes there's been times where maybe, like, we were out, you know, like, I don't like being out physicaled, right? I don't like being out physical, and I feel like the Giants behind that little fucking mongoloid Scatabo, all white team, shout out, but that little fucking mongoloid, I think he's out hitting us, and they were the more physical team on Thursday, that's what frustrated me the most.
We got their absolute best, and they got our absolute worst. You know what I mean? Like that was their Super Bowl. The last time I checked, the Eagles are still in first in the division. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So but I'll tell you, we're one blocked field goal return for a touchdown away from being 3-3. You know.
I agree, but it's good to start with a better record, and that's why. That's true. They have a lot of players hurt right now. They have to split these next two games, I think, before you go into a bye and kind of, you know what I mean, recover and everything.
We got to win
one between Vikings and Giants.
I'd love to win both.
I'd rather it be the Giants because now we owe them one.
I would love to just nuts on Chinham. That was just so brutal, especially the second half. They're like establishing long drives and like putting fucking runs together and blocking well and like just really, just out physicaling us. And like it seemed like they were the more mentally tough team. I don't know. It seemed like we were just we didn't show up. I don't know. Your thoughts, Bern?
Two things the Giants don't ever do. Beat the Eagles and win in primetime. So the fact that both of those things happened was like Christmas and your birthday all coming at the same time.
Prime time.
If there's yes, of course it's prime time. If there's only
there's only one game.
Yeah, that's
Thursday,
bro. It's prime time. It's a prime time game by every accountable metric. You know what prime time is? Prime time is between 8 and 11 p.m.
Oh my
television
God.
slots. That's
it's basically the preseason of the weekend is what Thursday is.
Oh,
it's the fucking weekend's preseason.
Yeah, nothing's ever done well on Thursday. Like Seinfeld or Friends or all those shows that dominated Thursdays.
Right. I would love to see. Yeah, I'm sure everyone. Yeah, the NFL Thursday night game is statistically known as just the best game of the week. Always.
Prime time is prime time, motherfucker. And it happened. The Giants beat the Eagles. The Giants won in prime time. We got little Scattaboo scooting and booting around. Guys, listen, it's only one game.
Yeah, leading with his head. That should last long.
Oh, God.
Dude.
He is legit just, like, one of his own teammates said he's just dumb. He's just stupid.
He said he was a moron. Yeah. Listen,
he's just a moron.
Scattaboo doesn't have CTE. CTE has Scattaboo. All right.
Yeah.
That's how he goes.
CTE's got a case of the Scattaboo.
He's got a case of the right. He tore his shirt off after the game with Fitzpatrick.
Buddy.
He's a maniac. And guys, listen, it's only one game. All right. It's only one game. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the whole NFC East could be 3-3, in a week, because they could be. I mean, the commies are losing now. Dallas coughed one up the other day. Your Birds 2 in a row. Vikings have been tough. I mean, beatable for sure, but tough. Who knows?
I would be more scared of the Vikings if Cousins was still there, because for some reason that cunt always just had our number. I know he hasn't been there in 2 years, but for some reason that little fucking bastard.
Look at Maddie hating on Carson Wentz. What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me
We're
lately?
Over it.
I was there. Typical Eagles fan. What have you done for me lately?
You think he's gonna that guy would get it? I mean, please. He was here for a cup of coffee, for Christ's sake.
He was having an MVP season before he got hurt.
I know, but he was there for 3 years. It's not like, it's not like he was here for 10 years.
Broke him forever.
Well, Nick Foles winning a Super Bowl broke him forever.
I still think like Carson Wentz, he might have done well and we might have gone deep in the playoffs, but I don't think he wins a Super Bowl.
No, there was a certain level of destiny there, I feel. Like you said before, magic. There was some magic on that squad.
Yeah. There was some big dick magic. When you got a big dick like that, you got some magic, Daddy.
Yeah, but I don't know if Matt might be right. I mean, I don't know if he has the to go
the chutzpah.
The cojones.
To go
the huevos.
To go tit for tat with Brady. I don't see it happening, dude. I agree.
No. Absolutely
well, we'll never know. We'll never know now.
We will
guys,
never know.
here's the scary thing for you. All right. And it's the
Please.
exciting thing for me is the Giants having a competent offense because they have defensive players. Like their defense is never terrible. It's never, even when it's bad, it's still pretty good. It's like pizza. You know what I mean? Like even when the Giants defense is bad, they're still like in the top half of the NFL. The Giants
if Dart keeps playing like that, they are not going to have a confident offense.
Also, like Bern, how much does your dick just shrivel and go away when Russell Wilson goes in?
Oh, everyone does. Did you see Brian Dable yelling at the doctor when I'm assuming that was investigated. If not, it really should be. But like Dable just screaming at the doctor when Dart was in the tent, and then Russell comes out there and underthrows a receiver by 15 yards, and it's just like it was unbelievable.
I don't mean because I'm saying he's playing bad. I'm saying because he's reckless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm saying then you'll be staring down the barrel of Russell Wilson again.
I mean, Dable knows if this Jackson Dart thing doesn't continue to show, he's Rich Franklin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He'll be coaching at Penn State.
I was going to say he might be Penn State's next coach if this doesn't work out.
He still might be.
That's not a bad thing because when they kick you out, you get what $50 million
buddy.
How about this?
Yeah.
Penn State could have saved $8 million if they just waited till January to fire Franklin, and they were like, "No, we'll pay him 57 instead of 49." Like Penn State 3 weeks ago was in overtime against Oregon.
Yeah. Who lost to Indiana? Indiana's for real.
They jumped up to 3. You see our boys, Maddie, the Fighting Irish, have crept up to 13. Guess how many teams they let in the playoffs? 12. So they're banging on the door.
A lot of season left, though.
Anyway, let's get back to what really matters. You guys getting fucking cock stomped on Thursday night. You're right, Maddie. The physicality, that's what made me excited. The Giants went out there with something to prove. And you're right. It is their Super Bowl. They never beat the fucking Eagles.
They were physical.
They never win at night. And they looked like they were having way, way, way more fun than you guys were having.
Quick question, Bern. Quick question. And this, I just want your honest opinion.
Sure.
Do you think Scadaboo can spell the word receipt?
I hope not. I hope not, quite frankly. I hope that all that's happening in his head is just a football bouncing around like that VCR logo. If you let like it's just from corner to, it's just a football from corner to corner.
Someone told a story that they were in, it was like their first time in an offensive meeting with Scadaboo, right? And he's just sitting there like rocking, going back and forth, and the coach is talking about a scheme, and all of a sudden he just yells, "Whoa, physicality!" And that's
dude. This was the interview.
I was like, is this guy fucking Latimer? Is this Latimer?
When Jackson, so ESPN did that last week. They did an interview with all of his teammates. So they had his parents on there being like, it's really weird. He was like a really shy, like reserved kid. And then something that happened to him in college just went crazy. I'm like, yeah, he went to Arizona State. All right.
Yeah.
If the freaks, if you got some freak in you,
in between touchdowns, that's what fucking happened.
Right. If you got some freak in you laying deep down and dormant, ASU is going to bring it out, baby. Like they're going to bring it out. Jackson Dart said the first time they met, Scadaboo just headbutted them, and they didn't. Then they shook hands and then walked into a meeting. Like that was the first time they met. You just got a headbutt from him, and that was it.
I mean, he's got Jeremy Shockey syndrome, that's for sure.
Well, I hope so, because Jeremy Shockey ended up with a ring on his finger.
Yeah, well. All right, so
couple years away, fellas. Couple years away. I appreciate you guys taking it like men. I'm hoping you guys can get it together because it'll be that much sweeter to beat you again in a week and a half. And if that's the case, fellas, I'm bringing a fucking guest on. All right. If that happens, I'm bringing someone with me.
Please do. Please do.
I might have my own. I might go to Philly and have a parade down Broad Street in a Pope-mobile, obviously, because
you will be shot.
I'll be matted.
But Liam, any thoughts on this game?
On the game in 2 weeks?
No. Well, you can on anything on the Thursday night game, on the weekend preseason game, and then the game in 2 weeks. Any thoughts, Liam?
I mean, honestly, it was embarrassing. You know what I mean?
Very much so.
It was embarrassing that that the whole world watched the Giants.
And why did the whole world watch it?
Because
Because it was in prime time.
And yeah.
Prime time, baby. Prime time.
Yeah, it was a fucking. I like. That's the thing. Honestly, nothing pisses me off the most because we've lost some games, but we were like how they saying you either win the game or you win the fight. You know what I mean? And like we lost both, and that's what pisses me off. So, but either way,
I have faith that they'll make changes and everything. I mean, we were talking about how fucked up the Eagles were around this time last year. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they
True.
they got their shit their shit together. Give them a chance. They're still their record is still intact. They're still you know what I mean?
I think they were 4-2
talent on the roster.
I think they were 4-2, but I think it was like week 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there. Where like the Fire Sirianni chants were coming hard.
But dude, that's too. Like we were barely winning games, and that's when Jordan or Jalen Hurts was like, "I don't care about the score. Like you care about the wins." And remember that one saying came out. It's like, "How did you get so good at winning?" He's like, "By losing," right? Like that whole thing, So this was this time last year. We had that close game against the Saints. We lost to Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. Right? So and we were coming off of that, and then we just fucking nuts on chin from there on out and started to run the fucking ball. Saquon Barclay, that's how you pronounce it, took over, and that's how it went. So, okay, enough venting. The Eagles lost. The Giants are gay. So let's keep it moving. Let's talk about some other things that happened this week in the NFL. The Broncos beat the Jets. Still things looking good.
I did. I misspoke last week. I misspoke when I said that all the undefeated teams were done and all the winless teams were done. I forgot about the Jets. The Jets are now 0-6.
The Jets still are cursed.
Have yet
to
win.
The Jets are a cursed organization.
Brutal franchise.
I couldn't imagine being a Jets.
And you remember week one, they had an absolute shootout with the Steelers, like a 34-31 game. And you were like, all right, the Jets might be spunky this year. And they have looked worse every single week. Here's a crazy stat about the Jets. They hired the Lions D coordinator, Aaron Glenn, to be their head coach, right? The Jets do not have a takeaway this season. Can you imagine your head coach is like a defensive guy, how much he's banging his head off the wall that your defense does not have a single takeaway this year? That's almost hard to do accidentally. Like guys just fumble sometimes. You're right, Liam. They are absolutely.
the ball never bounces their way in New York in the Jets. I would say ever. That is, they're like the Brown. They're almost at Browns level. Not yet, but close. But the Broncos beat.
I don't know, man. They're
close, but they have one. And dude, not too long ago they were making it to the AFC Championship. I mean, like 15 years ago. But the Browns haven't made it deep in the playoffs in God knows how long. They haven't had a 10-win season in God knows how long.
Listen, the last time the Jets won a Super Bowl, it was number 3.
Yeah,
3. What are we coming up on? 50?
Is it 50 this year? That. We're coming up on 60.
On 60? Okay, yeah. So the Jets won 3.
Dude, and Super what are Bowl the Browns? 3. You mentioned the Browns. What is wrong with the Browns organization, too? You have a team in your division that desperately needs a quarterback, and you're like, okay, here's one for a 5th-round pick.
Unbelievable, right?
Dude, any other organization would be like, dude, let him starve.
Yeah. For sure.
They're like, here's Flacco, who's serviceable enough that we started him, and here you go.
And he saved our season last year, basically. Yeah.
That broke my heart because I was really hoping Russell Wilson could be on a plane to Cincinnati at some point, So when they got Flacco, I was like, oh, come on, because we got Jameis too. I'd rather see Jameis out there than Russell Wilson.
Jameis, everybody loves him. I hate the Giants, but you gotta love him, and
you gotta love Jameis. You gotta love Crowder.
I was kind of hoping to see him start at some point.
Yeah,
this year.
I thought he was gonna have to start over Dart, but I'm sure there was pressure from the head office and stuff. So then the Seahawks knocked off the Jaguars. Then the Chargers. What's
Seahawks
up?
Are good.
Are they?
I think so. They've won 9 straight road games. They're road warriors.
They look real. Yep.
Everybody thought Darnold, once he left Minnesota, was going to fall apart. He's averaging like 300 yards a game. Like he learned. I think he's like 3rd or 4th in yards per game average right now. Like
we know who number 1 is.
I think Dak.
No, I think isn't it Danny?
It's Danny. Boy? Yeah, it's definitely Danny. It's definitely Daniel's son. That's for sure. And he didn't even play the 4th quarter. Vanilla Vic, baby. That's as named by Saquon Barclay.
Danny Dimes finally threw his first pick this Sunday.
Yeah.
But they still won. They bounced back.
Yeah. Beat the Cardinals.
Go ahead, Matt. Do your thing. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. No, we can talk on whatever. But yeah, the Colts beat the Cardinals 31-27 in a game that I don't think it should have been that close, but it was, I don't think the Colts played as good as they could have, but they still won, which is showing that game they played against the Raiders was just so dominant, but they're still just, they're tough to stop. But
Didn't Colts have a bunch of injured players too?
A couple, yeah.
Well, also the Cards have to take a real deep look in the mirror at Kyler Murray because he didn't play last week, and the offense
and Brissett looked better. Yeah,
Brissett looked better. Yeah. Like he looked better than Kyler has. He got the ball to their best players. Like,
do you think that's like a gift and like a curse of the Heisman in a way, where it's like this guy's a Heisman Trophy winner, we should start him? Like he always would get the nod in those situations where it's like, dude, this obviously doesn't work. This guy hasn't had 10 wins. Like what's the most he ever had is 8 wins in a year, right? Like he
Something
just
like
does.
That.
He doesn't get it done. Yeah, he can extend a play, but like look at all the offensive guys, like all the guys that they've had there. Like he just doesn't do it.
Well, he's also never.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying he also has never played a full season. Like you pencil him in for missing 3 to 5, 2 to 4 games every year, like
easily.
And it's hard for organizations to move on when they spend that high of a draft pick on a player. They're almost like way more hesitant to admit, like, okay, this ain't working. Dolphins, I mean, they're 1-5 right now too, right? Yeah, and that they're talking about it. That's another example
and
too.
And they lost to the Chargers.
Yeah, and like, do you move on from that? It's hard for them to admit, that was their guy. They spent a pick on it and everything.
Well, like also you got to think too, like who's gonna step up? Is the number 2 guy better than Tua? Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then also that's another injury-prone guy. And then like how do you work? Like it's so hard to introduce someone, especially in a complicated system like Miami. And then you lost your best offensive weapon, and he's not coming back. You know?
Yeah.
No,
so,
he is
like,
not.
Like it's a real dumpster fire there as far as like you can't. There's no miracle worker in place that they can just put in. Like really, what is the best option? And I kind of think Arizona is in the same place, but they definitely should be looking into the futures and like, look, Kyler, you got to start living a whole being able to stay healthy, and then also, if not, we're really gonna look into finding your replacement.
Well,
in the Dolphins, you got to have those hard convos.
The big joke about Kyler was like they were going to lose 2 weeks ago because it was Call of Duty double XP weekend.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like because they found out like they did that trick with him where like they gave him the iPad to go home like his rookie year to study plays, and Kyler not realizing that they can see what he's doing on that, and what he was doing on that was not studying plays. Jeez. So they were like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "Call of Duty." Like, well, we took you 1, so if you can just go ahead and kind of put that nose in the old playbook, we don't
have to hide $100 bill in the last page of the folder anymore.
Exactly.
We can see everything you're doing.
We know exactly what's going on, man. You're not looking at it.
Yeah, and then I mean, it is official. The Ravens are done. They are done. They are done. Dude, the Rams still a tough out.
Yeah, they're toast.
The Ravens are just so done. And, dude, coming into this year, my thought was, like, they are definitely, like, going to be part of the Final Four teams like they usually are. Super Bowl probably because maybe Kansas City's kind of had it. But, honestly, I feel like this is kind of one of those seasons where there's a changing of the guard coming, right? Like someone's gonna step up in the AFC as far as like the Ravens aren't the top dogs anymore, the Chiefs aren't the top dogs anymore, the Bills will still be there, but then who are the Bills gonna contend against in the AFC? You know?
Coming into the season, the
Maybe the
Bills.
Patriots?
Well, coming into the season, the Bills and Ravens were tied for the best odds to win the AFC.
Yeah.
And then like slightly behind them was the Chiefs. And then down the line you go. But Bills and Ravens were both like plus 220 to win the AFC. Like the whole
So
thing.
who's
So
up
like,
there now? Colts, Pittsburgh,
so you got the
right?
Colts, Pittsburgh. I mean,
Pittsburgh, though, I don't think Rodgers is going to last, though. Let's be honest. It'll be a
Right.
fun ride. Pittsburgh will look good, but do you see him lasting a whole season
No.
and making a playoff
Well, also,
run without
but
getting
like think
hurt?
of their division too, right? Cincinnati with no Burrow is nothing. The
Is not
Ravens
Cincinnati,
without
yeah.
Lamar is nothing, and then Cleveland is a joke. So that's six
Well, yeah,
wins
that's what I
right
mean.
there.
They're going to make a run for sure.
But it's gonna be they're gonna be, you know, the big fish, small pond just because their division is so weak.
Yeah.
And then when they get into the playoffs, they might have home field advantage, which will help them, especially in the cold. But like, I don't think they're beating the Patriots in the playoffs. They're not
I think
beating
they're
the
going to
Bills.
run out of steam. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
agreed.
Patriots. Yeah. Patriots look to have a real
they're doing
QB
something.
now. Yep.
I mean, Vrabel's got them doing something.
Yeah.
You know?
Listen, Mike Vrabel, what he was able to do with that Tennessee team, like year after year, and you've seen it since he left. Like Tennessee fired their coach today. They fired the guy they hired after Vrabel.
If it wasn't for the Jets, Tennessee would be the worst team in the league.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are trash, dude. They might still be the worst team in the league. We haven't, you know what I mean? The season hasn't played out yet. To me, they look like the worst team in the league.
Big time.
They look worse than the Jets, even though the Jets have no wins.
Dude, imagine that too. Vrabel didn't he beat Kansas City in the playoffs? And with fucking Ryan Tannehill as the quarterback.
Tannehill. Tannehill, that's a name I haven't heard in ages.
What do you like dude, like that's just, I mean, if that's not fucking coaching, I don't know what, you know.
He did also have Derrick Henry and AJ Brown when he did that.
True, but still, right?
Listen,
like
what's interesting for me about the Ravens is like, you know, Lamar's still hurt, right? Hamstring. Do they even fucking bother? You know,
I don't
like
know, man.
he has this hamstring injury that they can do like a, you know, it's a hammy, you know, it's week to week. We just don't know. But like with every passing week, I'm wondering if those.
No, it's still early. You have to still try.
I agree.
Because they they'll still make a run at it. But you're right. At some point, they might get 3/4 of the way through the season and see that, okay, this isn't really mathematically possible, and then maybe they lay off. They don't want to get hurt again. You know?
It's weird for the Ravens to have a bad defense. Like there's one thing that we're not used to seeing. It's the Baltimore Ravens since their inception into the goddamn league. They have had.
That's all they've been is defense.
They've always been defense.
That's their life is defense. Yeah.
So it's weird.
Totally.
It's weird to see them not have that. But you're right. AFC. I think the Bills and the Pats are strong. I think you have the Colts. I mean, the Jags are winning. They got beat by the Seahawks. They're 4-2. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence, but
no,
again,
they're not legit, and they don't have the defense to back it up.
And then out west, I mean, really, the Raiders are the only kind of bad team out west. Chargers are inconsistent. The Broncos are coming. You know what I mean? Like they're a team on the rise.
Tough out
for sure.
They're on the upswing.
Yeah. Hey man, they can score. They keep you in it. They play well. Like
their defense is solid. They've shut down corners. You know, like they
agreed.
Sean Payton's no Huckleberry. Like he's been around. Nope. He knows what he's got.
Yeah, he knows how to win games. You know. So yeah, I mean, but the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. Yeah. They're
gonna keep chiefing. They're gonna keep chiefing.
So I mean, like the AFC, if you look at it, right? Like I still think the Bills are the toast, right? But it's also we're in fucking week 6. So there's 11 fucking weeks left of injuries and ups and downs. Like we haven't even gotten through like the second quarter of the season yet. So there's a lot of bullshit that can come up because dude, I remember this time 3 weeks ago, I was so scared of the Packers and now I'm like, what the fuck have they I mean, even though they beat the Bengals, they haven't been playing like they played in the opening 2 weeks, ever since they lost. So I don't know. It's tough. The AFC is kind of up in the air. I do sense that we are on the precipice of a change of the guard in the AFC a little bit, and maybe there'll be a new king of the AFC coming up next couple of years. Might be the Bills' turn, but in the NFC, I mean, and also the Patriots, dude. There's something about the Pats. They've been playing good fucking ball. And they're a tough out, and they play to the end. They have that Vrabel fucking spit in your eye mentality. I like it. And then
Drake May does seem to be the real deal, dude. I
mean, he's winning, and he's efficient, right? Like, hey, game manager, good game manager, right? Like, what are we doing here? So, but I want to talk about the NFC because one of the surprises I thought of the NFC week is the Bucks. Are the Bucks for real?
Yes.
Right? Like, is Baker for real? Because, dude, the 49ers have been playing pretty good. Like, they haven't been bad. They've been doing well. And the Bucks beat them, and they won. Like, it wasn't like they got fucking handed it. Like, they beat them, and they outplayed them. And, I mean, they've been so competitive and such a tough out. Bucks for real?
Was Baker throwing to? Didn't he throw two players that never even played, right? Or
the one of them. Yeah, the this week kid, right? Like, yeah.
This week the Bucks went into the game without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and then their rookie Egbuka got hurt with two catches for 24 yards, and that was it. And I'll tell you what's scary about the Bucks is every game is a tight game with them. They're getting battle tested in a way that's like legit. They never win by 12. They never lose by 12. It's always a one-score game in the fourth quarter. They win most of them, but the bottom line is they're having to play every single week, and they're winning most of those games, but it's a battle-tested squad, man. And
they don't blink.
That's a scary team.
Dude, you gotta love Baker, like his story, and just like, dude, at one point, so think all these teams we just talked about, their quarterbacks aren't working out, they don't know what. Every team in the league had a chance to have Baker as their quarterback at one time. How crazy is that? And now he's the cream of the crop. Like everybody's watching him, like he's the fucking man.
He's too small. He's not strong enough. He's not super fat. Like all these things. You know what the guy fucking does? He fucking battles and he wins, and his guys will fucking run through a wall for him. Are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. He's the leadership is there for sure.
Is he the one? There was a video of him arguing with the fans and stuff. Right? Yeah. He was John with the opposing fans.
He called himself fan pussy. He was like, "You're a pussy."
Yeah, that was good.
Here's what's crazy too, and we talk about it. You have these first round guys, these high picks. There's 4 or 5 quarterbacks who go in the first round every year, and 2.5 of them work out. And I think we're seeing this year some of the leashes make sense. Like we're talking about Darnold, we're talking about Baker, we're talking about Danny Dimes, we're talking about guys who didn't get it necessarily right away, or were in bad situations, or were in offenses that didn't make any sense for them. And then they go somewhere else. And this guy was a number 1 draft. This guy's a first round draft pick in the NFL. He's got talent, man.
Yeah.
It's the hardest position to play in all of sports. There's no harder position to play in sports than the quarterback of a professional football team. And I think the lesson should be can we learn something of this? By the way, the Bills are about to lose to the Falcons 24-14. And my man Josh Allen just broke off he was at 5 rushes for 18 yards. He will finish his game at 6 rushes for 42 yards. Liam, you were right. He broke a silly one. He broke a silly one down the stretch. And cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. But we're talking about the Bills being on top. The Bills have now lost back-to-back primetime games.
Yeah.
Nothing's promised, man. Nothing is promised in this league.
Can I say this too? Yeah. No, you're not, dude. Yeah, for sure. I like it too because it's a competitive league. I like that. But I just want to, let's switch it up again. I want to go back to we're talking about quarterbacks. I want to talk about Danny Dimes. He hit 22 for 30, 212 yards, two tutties, and one pick. He did pretty well. Jonathan Taylor, 21 carries, 123 yards, and a tutty. Like, he is, to have run support is very helpful. But I do want to say, like, I know they played the Cardinals, and obviously, like, Jacoby Brissett had a game. Like, 27 of 44, 320 yards, two tutties, and a pick. So, like, I mean, Kyler's got to be feeling the heat, you know?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. Like,
if he's not, he will be soon. You know?
Yeah. Like,
when he turns on his TV,
back.
when he turns on the radio.
And also, you bring your backup in and are like, you're going to throw the ball 44 times today.
Right.
Like, because they have no James Conner. Benson's hurt. They're down to their, they have Michael Carter and the dude who flipped that 75-yarder at the goal line 2 weeks ago, DeMarcado. Like, the run game not super reliable. But you bring your backup in Jacoby Brissett, and you make him throw the ball 44 times. Like, that's probably not how you had it scripted out.
No.
And they hung. But the Colts are good, man. And that rookie, I hate Penn State, but that rookie tight end Ty Warren, that guy,
he was a beast at Penn. He was that whole team too.
And he's a dude, man. He went to the NFL. They're handing the ball off as a fullback. Like, he's doing all the same stuff he did at Penn State in the NFL. That dude can flat out play.
Yeah. So one last team I want to talk about before we move on is the Detroit Lions. What are we doing in Detroit, right? Like, they lost to the Chiefs. The Chiefs they beat tough teams. They're winning tough games. The Lions are still a tough team. They're 4-2. But
Chiefs were in must win, though. They had to win that game.
Agreed.
Right.
You know?
And it was at Arrowhead, or Chiefs, whatever they call it. But dude, the Lions, I mean, it's not like they I feel like they didn't play bad. They just couldn't get it done. Like, Jared Goff, 23 of 29, 203 yards, two touchdowns, right? But their run game, Jahmyr Gibbs, he had 17 carries for 65 yards. Nothing great. Montgomery had 4 carries for 24. Nothing terrible, right? Like, good, decent support. But then, Jameson Williams he had a decent game, 6 catches, 66 yards, and a tutty. Sam Laporta had 5 for 55 and a tutty. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 9 catches for 45 yards. Like, that motherfucker just gets those tough yards, They're
all over the middle, too. They're all over the middle. Like, he lives in the middle of the field. He's scared of no one.
Salt in the slot. Absolutely. But they just, but if you look at, like, the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, 22 of 30, 257 yards and 3 touchdowns. Pretty good game. And Kelsey showed up, 6 catches, 78 yards. And then Hollywood Brown with 2 touchdowns. Xavier Worthy had 2 catches, one of them being a touchdown. So they're spreading the ball out. Mahomes had a rushing TD too. So I don't know. Are the Chiefs, are they all the way back? Was this a good enough test for them to come back? Are the Lions going to hit a skid? How are we looking? What are we thinking here?
I
think they're both good teams. Go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Chiefs are far from done. You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna climb back in. They're gonna be relevant again. I do think that.
Okay.
They're getting Worthy back, right?
Well, they're getting Rashid Rice back. Rashid Rice. They're getting Rashid
Rice. Sorry. You're right. My mistake. They're getting Rashid Rice. That's who I
think was leading the NFL in receiving yards through 3 or 4 weeks last year before he got hurt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then while he was injured, he decided to drive 170 miles an hour and hit somebody. Luckily, no one was killed. And that's why he's not playing right now. He had a 6-game suspension to start the season.
Yeah.
But no, Liam, I think you were right too. Such a must win for the Chiefs. And if you watch that game, it was the whole kitchen sink, man. They were running jet sweeps and triple reverses. Hollywood Brown had a rushing touchdown. Like, they started to open up the playbook a little bit and be like, all right, we need this one. And Big Red, Sinistash himself has a binder this thick of weird shit that nobody else in the NFL
and
even thinks about.
And so now they're at 500. They got the Raiders this week coming up.
Oh yeah.
So now all of a sudden they're heavily favored.
Always a tough game. That's you said like
I know.
Super Bowl. Crosby always shows up for that.
That's the Raiders Super Bowl is beating the Chiefs.
But they got you know what I mean. They win that game, then they're above 500, and they're back on the.
And everyone's talking
they're
about
back
the
on
Chiefs
the path. I think.
Also, dude, another thing, like we are in the early part of the season where the football sucks, right? Like, and no one's playing really good football. Like, there's a couple teams that are playing decently, but we're not playing. Like, it's not like we had a full preseason where everyone's playing, ready, coming in, guns blazing, right? Like, we're still doing a lot of figure it out football right now. So once that tightens up, I'm saying like next couple weeks, it's really going to tighten up, and then we're going to fucking be humming and hawing. And I really think there's going to be some people that separate themselves from the pack.
Yeah, it's usually like week 8 before you really know like who the best 2 teams in each conference are. You know what I mean? Like we said,
dude, even remember 2 years ago, week 10, the Eagles were sitting at 10-1, right?
Yeah,
and then fucking
that was a whole nother.
That was the worst.
Wait, Maddie, that's not the sound my boner makes.
All right. Well, anything. I mean, I really want to move on to the last segment. Are we good?
Yeah. Can do one more?
Talk to me.
Yeah.
The game that I found the most interesting was we got some help from an unlikely place. The Panthers beat the Cowboys for us.
Bryce Young.
The Panthers are 3-3 now. They have a real run game. Are the Panthers finally crawling out of the basement? What do you guys think?
Guys, are we back on
defense to do it?
Are we back on a triple dick shake? Because yes, everyone here was thrilled to watch the Panthers beat the Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh, dick shaking triple dick shaking triple.
Dick shaking triple here.
I mean, dick shaking triple down.
Listen, I was talking about quarterbacks you write off before. I forgot about Jared Goff, who literally took the Rams to a Super Bowl, and McVay was like, I don't want him anymore. And Bryce Young was dead in the water. In the water week 5 of last year. Like, this guy just will never get it.
And they're 3-3 now.
Anthony Richardson.
Look, you know who they get next week? The fucking Jets. They're in they're in a prime position.
They could hit a fucking stride.
They're in a prime position to get a nice, feel good win, be above 500, and start fucking, start.
And also think of their division. Like, they're gonna play Atlanta. They still got to play Atlanta again. They still got to play New Orleans again. I mean, Tampa's gonna be tough, but hey, that could be a game where they can get up and be like, hey, let's test here. Because these guys are owning the division. Let's try and fucking take a run at the division.
But at least they're not in the basement anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They will battle for the division.
They're on their way up, dude.
Yeah. You got to prepare for them. Plus, Rico Dowdle, who the Cowboys cast off, has back-to-back 230-yard weeks as a running back. Their rookie receiver, Tet, had 2 touchdowns this week. Like, they have young talent on it. Bryce Young's only a 3rd-year guy. Like, they have young talent on the team. They have the worst owner maybe in professional sports since Donald Sterling and David Tepper. But like, I mean, that could be a fun team. Listen, could you imagine like if the Panthers? There was a point when we watched football where like the Saints, the Bucks, and the Panthers were all good. Like the NFC South used to be
Oh, dude, remember the Matt Ryan, Roddy White years, and then you had Drew Brees on the other side, and then you remember Jake Delhomme. So and then you had Cam Newton in Carolina at the same time, and then also you had Jameis when he first came in Tampa. Like the NFC South used to fucking be a hard, like pretty tough to play.
Listen, it's funny. It's funny how it's all cyclical, right? Like these things come, except for the AFC South. The AFC South always has only one good team in it. But other than that, every other division kind of is like I know the records don't show it, but like as NFC East guys, like yes, our teams are a little inconsistent. Where we could, I say we now I'm buddies with you guys. But but like can show up and kind of beat anyone or lose to anyone every week. Like
the beast still rules.
The beast is still lying under the surface, man. There's no easy games when you're playing an NFC East team right now. No matter who you are. And I feel like the South could be shaped up. Atlanta just beat the Bills. And they've had a bye already. The Panthers, like Liam said, they're coming back strong. We know the Bucks are going to be around when all is said and done. And the Saints are kind of the Aints right now. I forget who they beat, but they only have one win. So
I remember who they beat.
I don't think it's
Spencer
important.
Rattler's first win, and it was against the New York Football Giants.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Also,
football.
Who
Giants.
was your old OC last year? Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
Now Kellen Moore's first win as well. That was super duper as well.
Yeah. No, I'll say too. I mean, dude, I'll tell you, people were saying last year how the NFC East isn't the strongest thing anymore. And I remind them, it was two NFC East teams playing in the NFC Championship. So fucking the B still runs the show. Okay? You know what I mean? The 2 years before, when we went to the Super Bowl 2 years, there's three teams, three out of the four teams in the NFC left. It was San Francisco, then the Eagles, the Giants, and the Cowboys. Right? So fucking, the beast is still here. The beast isn't fucking going anywhere. And as much as I fucking hate every other cunt in the beast, fucking, you still got to play us. And sometimes you got to play us at home, and it fucking sucks for you. So, all right. But, Liam, thank you for bringing it up. That was a great call on Carolina because you're absolutely right, and you're always a stud. But let's keep it moving to everyone's new favorite segment. It's the Benoit Houté show right now. We're going to move on to Who's That Dude? All right, Benoit Payud Kisse. Take it away, Daddy. Liam, there's some rules. Bern's going to hit you and knock your dick right into your dick. Let's go, Bern.
All right. Well, since you guys are working as a team today, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you three kind of out there statistics about a player, an NFL player, right? Okay. After three, you guys can ask me a question and make a guess. From that point forward, if you don't have the correct guess, or don't feel comfortable making guess, I will give you one stat, and after that point, you guys get a question and a guess. One stat, question and a guess. One stat, question and a guess. I start with the most obscure, and then we see how long it takes you guys to filter this dude down and figure out who it is.
Okay.
Sound good?
That sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, gentlemen. The player that I will be asking about tonight, the dude that we will be discussing, was born on September 2nd, 1979. The dude that I will be discussing, his middle name is Collins. Huh. Isn't that something? This dude is in the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame. Those are your three facts. Now you guys get together, think of a question you want to ask. It's a yes or no question.
I mean, Liam, can I tell you something? Whenever someone mentions the Senior Bowl, there's one player that always pops in my head. Do you know who it is? When someone mentions the Senior Bowl, is there any player that goes into your head?
No. Is this a current player or a?
All right.
Sorry,
that's
I
a
gotta
great
ask my questions.
No. Great question. Go ahead.
Is it a current player? It is not a current player. Do you have a guess?
Right. Nope. Hit us with some facts.
Yeah.
All right. This player is in the College Football Hall of Fame.
79.
Can you give us another fact, or do we have to ask a question?
Well, if you don't have a question or a guess, then I can give you another fact.
Did this person play in the SEC?
No.
Okay. Then it's
Any
not
guesses?
who I was thinking of.
All right.
I thought it was. I don't want to say it, but because. All right.
Okay.
Okay, go.
All right. This player made 2 NFL Pro Bowls.
2 Pro Bowls.
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Did this person play quarterback?
No.
Oh, so it's definitely
man.
not who I thought it was. I thought it was Jay Cutler.
JC? Is he 4 years older than us? 5 years older than us?
Probably.
It's
Yeah.
around. I mean, he could be around our age, but he did definitely bang what's her face, Kristen Cavallari. So he's
He
a loser,
did.
but other than that, he's a winner.
This player played for 9 years in the NFL on 2 different teams.
Ooh. Years in the NFL, 2 different teams. Did this person play defense?
No.
Oh shit! It wasn't a quarterback. God damn it. Was he an offensive player?
Well, you have to wait till your next question.
Well, Liam, if he didn't play defense.
Oh, sorry.
So
yeah, I'm not
we don't have a
best
guess. Bern, hit us with a fact.
This player was a 3rd-round pick, selected 91st overall.
3rd-round pick, played defense.
No. You've already forgotten the answer to the last question. He was
you just
not a defensive player.
He played offense. Sorry. 3rd-round pick, played offense. Fuck.
He could have played special teams. I don't know. There's 3 phases to the game.
3rd-round pick, played offense. Did he play in the NFC North?
No.
Fuck. For some reason, I mean, oh, god damn it, never mind. Fuck off. All right.
Yes?
No. Can I ask? All right, I need another fact before I can ask another question, right?
Yes. This player would have been considered somewhat injury prone. Not that he was like never played, but that his career probably would have been different if he wasn't banged up quite so much. Not to say that he wasn't a good player, just hampered by injury.
Did this person ever win a Super Bowl?
No.
Super Bowls.
Any guesses?
No.
Let's see. This person was a 1st-team All-Pro in 2007.
07.
First team All-Pro 2007?
Correct.
Yeah. Question.
Well, you guys get a question and then a guess.
Oh,
I mean, I'm
Did we watch this player's career?
Absolutely.
79.
Any guesses?
2 teams.
Um,
And his career would have been better if he wasn't injured.
Wait, okay. Can I ask this? Did this person play baseball?
No.
Fuck. Ugh.
All right. This player is the only player in his franchise, and I'll give you a little extra clue here. He played 8 seasons for one team and then his final season for another team. He's the only player in his main team, the team he played 8 seasons for, to return 2 punts in the same season for touchdowns.
Man. Hold on. Can you say that again?
Yeah, so I was saying, I said to you guys, he played 9 seasons in the NFL, and he played for 2 different teams. The first team he played for 8 years. The second team he played for, he only played for 1 year. He's the only player in that main team, the team he played for 8 years. He's the only player in that franchise's history to return 2 punts for touchdowns in the same season.
Okay, can I ask you this? Okay. All right. Okay. Can I ask you this? Did this person play in the NFC East?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have a guess?
No. Can I take it? I mean, did this person play running back?
You got to make a guess.
Fuck. I don't want to. Man. I think if I think it's who I think it is, I need to ask another question. Can I get another stat?
This person won the Walter Payton Award in college his senior year in 2001.
Yep. Okay. Did this person play for Villanova?
Yes.
Is this person Brian Collins Westbrook?
You're goddamn right it is, Maddie.
Oh, my God.
Here's what a good guy I am. I'm such a good guy that I knew you were going to have a hard time venting tonight. So my dude, I wanted to make a dude that we both enjoyed, a guy that I love from Villanova, and the
Where
guy
else
that
did
you
Westbrook
love.
play?
He played his last season. He played for the
Washington?
San Francisco
Oh,
49ers.
Niners, that's right.
Yeah.
His last season. Guys, Brian Westbrook was a 3-time first-team 1AA All-American. He currently still holds the record of 9,885 all-purpose yards. That's an NCAA record, not just a Division II record in his college career. Some of my other stats I was going to drop on you. He made
was so fucking good.
Team Hall of Fame,
good.
Listed at 5'8", 203 pounds.
Yeah.
He played in a Super Bowl and where he had.
I mean, he is 5'8" because I towered over him at 5'11", just so you guys know.
5'10". Super Bowl, he had 44 rushing yards and 7 receptions for 60 yards. One of my other clues was, Matt, you definitely saw him play live.
Yeah.
One of my clues is that I met him. Liam, little story about me you don't know. I show up to Villanova in 2000, second day at school, right? I'm like, I'm going to go play some pickup hoops. Go play some pickup hoops. So I'm playing some pickup hoops. I go for a rebound over this little guy. I'm about 6'2", and this guy boxed me out in a way that hurt. Like it hurt. I'd never felt that pain in my legs playing basketball before. And I was just like, what the fuck was that? Little did I know. I felt way better about it when I found out it was Brian Westbrook later on. Who was an absolute freak athlete. I met him, NCAA record, first team All-American. His NFL career, 1,385 rushing attempts for 6,335 yards and 41 touchdowns, 442 catches for 3,941 yards and 30 touchdowns. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Westbrook.
Dude, honestly, incredible player. Absolutely incredible player. Honestly, think of all the things, think of all the stats and records he would have too if he didn't have McNibby throwing 100 balls in the dirt at his feet every year.
Also, going back and looking at his games played, he did miss a lot of games, and it was all ticky-tack stuff. But he was a little injury prone.
Hamstring, Achilles,
foot injury.
He had some stuff.
Because he's smaller. They used
little guy.
Also, dude, he would return punts too. They used him so much. God, I remember one time we were playing the Seahawks and we were mounting a comeback, and he returned a punt, and it was late in the game. It was 2 minutes left. He returned a punt and was knocked out. We were there and we were 3 rows from the field, and he was knocked out of bounds literally right in front of us, and the fucking place was going nuts. And then McNibby threw a pick and we lost. But it was fucking great. But okay, hey, we went way over time.
How many? Oh, sorry. All right, go ahead.
What? Ask you. What are you gonna say? Lynn?
How many teams did Deshaun Jackson play?
Well, he played for us. Then he played for Washington. Then he played for us again.
And I would bet there's another weird one in there that he
I think Tampa Bay too. He played for Tampa.
Yeah. I was just wondering. I was trying to remember everywhere he played.
Yeah. All right. Well, Speaking of Deshaun Jackson playing all over the place, this has been another episode of the
Liam,
Working Perspectives podcast.
He's now a head football coach at Delaware State. Sean Jackson is the head football coach at Delaware State.
Not the Blue Hens.
Vic's another one, but
Yeah, well, in case you're wondering, you guys can find all our stuff and all our content and all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You have us on Instagram, Working Perspectives Podcast. Join us on Twitter and TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. And please like and subscribe. We'll keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks. See ya!
He also played for the Rams, Raiders, and Ravens.